Kenya, Limuru is a major pears growing zone due to the cool season that dominates the area. Different cultivators have different needs. Pears takes 3 to 5 years for the tree to start fruiting. The pears tree can do well in different soil types and conditions. One can easily modify soil fertility to attain optimum conditions. Pears are reasonably tolerant to drought and wet soils, but can't withstand flooding, which can injure the root system. Wine production is one of the oldest fermentation processes. And did you know that you can extract fine wine from pears? Well, pears fruit is one suitable fruit source for the production of acceptable quality wine. Pears fruit is a good source of nutrients such as lutein, lycopene, various minerals and ascorbic acid that is optimizing fermentation temperatures. Our farmer today is going to tell us all the dynamics involved in pears business.
Fruits, you can never go wrong with fruits, yeah? Not so many people have it, so you can get your profits from that, just the margins alone.
Let's get right into it. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Kilimo na Biashara, a show that brings you different types of farming methods and all emerging trends in the agribusiness world. Well, look back here. There's some trees that look like they are dried up, but well, they are in dormancy stage for several months. But in a few months, they will be blooming with fruits. Well, today we are focusing on one such fruit. We are focusing on pears farming. Now, let's go get our farmer. Wow, I have to stop here for a minute. Look at this. Wow, so fruitful, right? Now let's go find our farmer. Onasmat, how are you?
Hi, Linda.
Hey, I'm good. Your farm is so fruitful.
We've been fruitful this year.
I see clearly.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is very fruitful.
Why don't you taste one of these?
Okay.
And then you tell me how you feel after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Tasty. Very tasty.
Very tasty indeed. Karibu sana.
Thank
and you can eat the whole fruit. So.
Let me confirm.
How is it?
It is really sweet. It's eaten together with the peel.
Yes, you can take the whole fruit even plus the skins and the seeds.
I like it.
So,
where do we start?
Let's start from this side.
This way? Okay, we can carry this. And you have so many trees.
Yeah. These are very old trees, grown back in the 30s, I believe.
30s?
Yeah.
That is quite old.
Yeah.
Like it sits at roughly how many acres? Or how many trees do you have here?
Now, I can't tell you the number of trees right now because so many have died during the years. But initially it was around 10, 20 acres. But we have to hive off some for the tea. And then what we're left with now is around 6 acres.
When I was coming in, I discovered that there are ones that are so dried up. What happens during that period? Because after a few months, they also fruit.
Linda, I think what you saw were the plum trees. Those ones are now out of season. So the same thing happens to the pears. Once they're out of season, they go dry and they look like they never get fruits again. But now look at this now.
So how long is the dormancy period?
It's about maybe, they only grow for one season, but they start fruiting early, and then or rather late in the year. Let's say from September to around December, and then they get the fruits in January to around Feb, and then after that, they go dry again.
Before we talk about the weather patterns, where do we start? Do you start with a seedling or seed? Where do we start?
You have to get the seedlings. Seedlings we can propagate for you right here at this farm. But once you get the seedlings, it will take you about 3 years before you can first harvest any seed or any fruit. After that, then the tree is grown up, so you don't need to take care of it much. But just like any other fruit tree, when it's young, it's when it needs the most care. These ones are so old now, so I don't think they need that much care.
So as it grows from a seedling, what are the management practices so that you get good pears tree?
First thing is water, manure definitely. We still advocate for organic manure. And then also you have to give it a few, maybe calcium and a bit of copper, just to give it enough energy to grow.
Onesmus, even if you said your forefathers grew this, what are the management practices at this level?
Okay, so right now we still do a bit of pruning. When we can, we do a bit of fertilizer. We add some fertilizer.
At this stage, do you still need to put water?
No, now we just depend on the rain. Yes, when they are this size, they just go with the season.
This region is quite cold. Does it mean that pears only grow in cold areas?
I would think so, but I've been proven wrong because some people have grown these trees, I hear, in very hot areas of the country. So the best thing I'd advise you is if you are looking to get this fruit, you'd rather have maybe try 2 or 3 different varieties, and then you can get the right one for your area.
Onesmus, I remember when we were growing up, December was the ideal time for plums and pears. What happened?
Yeah, we used to wait for December holidays because when we came home, we used to have the fruits to eat and we used to spend the whole days in the shamba. Nowadays, I guess because of global warming, the weather patterns have changed. So right now we are harvesting them in February, March, when we used to harvest them in December, January.
For pears lovers, how long is the season?
I guess the season is about between 2 to 3 months only. Yeah, the whole year.
For the 3 months that are in season, is it a good venture? Do you reap big from it?
I mean, fruits, you can never go wrong with fruits, yeah? Because the market is also diverse. This is one of a forgotten or rather underutilized fruit. So not so many people have it, so you can get your profits from that, just the margins alone.
Does the pears tree get affected by pests and diseases, and how do you control it?
Yes, there are some pests and diseases. Like now there's it's a parasite on the trees. If you look at most of the trees, they have a bit of whitish, but that is just a parasite. It can be easily taken off by a few medicine, insecticides and pesticides.
So it doesn't get affected much?
No, not at all.
I've seen that you have a lot of crops here. You have maize, you have beans. Is it a good practice to intercrop pears with other vegetables or fruits?
The trees do not affect anything that is growing under them. So that one also, it's an advantage. And also because they only fruit once in a season, once a year. So we work around it and then we can plant the rest of the year under the trees.
Which crops are really good for intercropping it with pears?
Here we've done mostly maize, beans, potatoes, and we have tried even the snow peas. So they don't really affect any kind of fruits and any other crops.
Which soil is favorable for pears farming?
I wouldn't say there's a limitation because it's like a tree. Most trees can grow anywhere as long as they're given what they need. So as long as the soil is a bit healthy, it can grow.
Onesmus, what do you like best about pears?
Oh, they're sweet. And they help to harden my teeth. Yeah, they give me the exercise. I like the taste. They are very sweet. It's better than taking sugar.
Maybe you can just tell us some of the nutritional values of pears.
Yes, actually pears, they do also have a lot of nutritional benefits because they help in digestion of the stomach. They're high in fiber. You find that they are also anti-inflammatories. You know, if you have any, say, internal organ failure or anything, they can help. anti-cancer, I believe. And these are, the indigenous fruits as well.
Onesimus, that is quite insightful. And I see you still have the crate here.
Yeah, why don't you try this one?
This is another variety. Okay. This is really soft. It's actually softer than the pears that I took at the beginning.
Yes.
Luckily, pears fruits can be canned in plain water, fresh juice, or any kind of syrup, or even better, fine wine. Aside from wine, there is Pear, which is an alcoholic beverage made from fermented pears. Similar to the way cider is made from apples through fermentation process. Well, quickly, fermentation occurs once bubbles appear on the fruit because of the yeast that is digesting it to sugar and converting it into alcohol. Fruit tends to ferment quickly in 24 to 48 hours. However, some people prefer to ferment the fruit for up to 2 to 3 weeks. But let me quickly tell you how these can be done locally. Basically, fermentation involves placing your pear's fruit in a jar or other container and adding a combination of water, sugar, and a starter culture such as yeast. The lid is then sealed and the fruit is left at room temperature for between 2 to 10 days. During this time, the product will start converting the sugar to alcohol, then carbon dioxide gas will be produced as a byproduct, forming bubbles at the top of the jar. Once fermented, the fruit will contain an abundance of beneficial bacteria and can be used as a condiment, dessert toppings, or recipes for things like chutneys, smoothies, and salsas. In this case, you can try it at home. Either you can make wine or alcohol or cider. Welcome back to Kilimo na Biashara. But did you know that a pear's tree, if it produces a lot of fruits, it will compromise the quality? Well, to know whether that's true, Onesimus is still right here with me. Onesimus, is that true?
That is so true, Linda. That's why we have to prune these trees every so often.
So I've seen that some have even fallen. So the more the fruits, the branches get weak, hence the tree falls.
Yes, it compromises on the quality of the fruits, and also, too many, they break the branches. Maybe you can see some in the shamba.
So too many fruits in a tree, you will have to prune.
Yes, you prune it so that it produces less, and also this variety is the local one, so people will want this one more than any other variety.
So this is also the hard variety?
Yeah, this variety is called the Comis pear, or here in Kenya we just call it the Kenyan pear.
Wakenya tumezoea vitu ngumu. So from this one, which one do we go to next?
Let's move this way.
Okay.
Right here. So this is the Packham tree.
It has a unique color.
Yeah.
Even the leaves are so different.
Yes, you can see this is called a Packham.
What's so unique about it?
So this, Linda, is called the Packham variety, and many people here call it the soft pear. Yeah, it's very soft and sweet.
So how does it look compared to the normal pears?
Yeah, let me show you. So I don't know if you can tell the difference between this and this.
This is the first variety, and this is the soft variety.
This is the soft variety. Yeah, and they grow also big. I'm trying to look for a good one. Yeah. So you can tell the difference. One is a bit bright yellow, This one is a bit dark green.
So when you compare both, which one really commands the market?
The local variety. Yeah, this one is more of a, what do you call it? A unique, a niche market.
When you say niche market, where is the market specifically for this one?
Yes, we try and get some chefs to buy this because they cook with it. You can make wine with it, and you can boil it to make dessert.
Oh, so you can actually boil to make desserts?
Yeah, the French used to make dessert with this. So you boil them, you peel the skin, you boil them, and then you put some custard in the bottom. And also to make wine.
Also to make wine?
Yeah, you let them ferment for about a week or so.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So this unique one, this particular variety, does it grow faster than the rest of the pears or it's lower?
Actually, this one grows faster. It fruits way before the normal one, the local one. So it also disappears fast. It's the first one to be eaten and then the local one. That's why by the time the market is ready, this one is almost going out.
Onesimus, I see they are quite too high.
Yes.
And I would love to test this one.
Yeah, why don't you try this one?
Okay, let me try this one. It is soft for sure. Very soft. So which one is the next one?
Let's try this other tree here.
This one is really soft. I like it. And we are going to the next variety, the last variety, and I'll surely test and tell you how it tastes. So we go to the last tree now.
Yes.
Okay.
The last one is called a Bosch or Bosque. Bosque pear. We grew up eating them all when we were young.
Whoa, they're super tiny. They're so tiny.
Yes, they are.
Tell me more about this variety. It's called what?
This is the Bosque variety, Linda. It's very soft and it's also very sweet. It's used to make desserts as well.
I've never seen it in the market.
Yeah. It is quite expensive because I think 6 of them in a punnet would be selling for around 200 bob. So we try to sell locally, but yeah, it's expensive.
Pear's fruit is quite unique and rarely comes to the market. It's seasonal. But now tell me about the market dynamics.
So the market for pears is actually up and down. Sometimes we reap big, sometimes there's nothing to sell. The last maybe 4 or 5 years, because of global warming, like we said, we haven't been having too much fruit. But right now, I'd say the market is there and people keep coming from Marikiti. We have local vendors buying.
So Onesimus, for these 3 varieties, how is the pricing? Which one is higher?
Because some of them are not too popular, mostly we sell at about 150 per kilo. And then there's those ones for 200 per punnet. But if you can get someone to come and get wholesome, because instead of having them rotting on the ground, you just sell.
Onesimus, as we come to a close, would you encourage someone to grow pears?
Oh yeah, fruits, you see, you don't have to do anything. The fruits just grow by themselves, and after a year, you harvest, and you harvest for almost 50 years.
Thank you so much, Onesimus. That has been quite insightful.
You're welcome.
And as you know, Lazima, to harvest a few,
Yeah?
I go make some, I boil,
Yeah.
I make some wine.
Miti mingi, karibu.
Sinaona ziko mingi hapa.
Yeah.
Let me start with this one. And there's this one also. Ooh. They look really nice, Wow, it has been quite a show. Onesmus has told us that the market is quite fluctuating, of course, because of the weather patterns and the global warming. But during the season, you can reap big from this particular farming of pears. So that has been pears farming from Kilimo na Biashara show. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Until next time, see you again. My name is Linda Koskei.